Good morning, guys. December 15th. In this one today, we're going to talk Q, a little bit of weirdness that went on both 4chan and 8chan with Q posts yesterday. We're going to talk the latest in all the craziness going on with the sexual harassment allegations all coming out. We're going to talk John McCain, and then, of course, some Pedogate and Space news to wrap things up. So that being said, thank you for everybody helping me continue to do these on Patreon. And then vlogging. I actually have to go down to Portland for the weekend to do some work down there. So if I do any of these video updates, it'll be from there. But I was also thinking of vlogging it. And I'm a total noob at vlogging and kind of have no idea what I'm doing. But hey, you guys let me know if you would be down to watch that. So you throw that in the comments below. But anyway, let's get into talking about some Q. So the first one, last night, Q drops, comes this one up top. And there was a lot of weirdness going on. So apparently this Q dropped some posts on multiple boards on 8chan because they actually couldn't get into one of them. You can see the top one says lost access to CBTS. That's Calm Before the Storm. That's the board on 8chan that Q was usually putting the drops on, but no ability to enter trip code on that board last night. So what Q actually had to do is go on to a different board on 8chan, and then they dropped this long one. I'm not going to go into it because it just rehashes a lot of things, but they were able to get this post on a different board, okay? And then we had Q reference this email. Now this email was sent allegedly to a fellow YouTuber. I'm not going to say his name here. I actually like the work he's doing. But basically, he thought that he got an email from Q. You can see the trip code in this Gmail is like Q's trip code. And it says, you know, allegedly this is from the real Q. Don't worry about the stream ban. It's part of my plan. Share this, right? So that YouTuber went, made a video, shared this email, and he was, you know, really confused and didn't know what's going on. But we have confirmation on 8chan here from Q saying that, replying to this poster of the email saying that it's fake. So, man, that kind of sucks. I would be super stoked if the real Q went and emailed me something like that. But, you know, of course, I would be very skeptical too. And be like, it's kind of weird. It looks like it was a little weird. But anyway, then we have a post down here. And it says, trip code on 4 working. If you go to 4chan, there was actually a trip test done, and it was successful last night. But we did get a few more posts on 8chan before that. Trip code on 4 working. Fly Sid Fly. We don't like to say his name. Now that's actually a reference, speak of the devil, we're going to talk about him for a sec here, to none other than John McCain. John McCain's middle name is Sidley. So, John Sidley McCain III. So, this Fly Sid Fly is a reference to John McCain. True Pundit. I love this website, True Pundit. Apparently, True Pundit is run by a former FBI agent who's very in the know. Goes by Thomas Paine on Twitter. Anyway, highly recommended. This article says, McCain's eyes exit from Senate. McCain eyes exit from Senate amid stress from growing Trump dossier scandal. All right? Well, let's just fast forward here. I'm just going to read a couple of these sentences. Boots on the wrong foot, the wheelchair, now the hospital. McCain could, in fact, need all these medical devices and treatments, or they could be props. Total props. And speaking of McCain, this article here came out on Bloomberg yesterday, and it says 6 senators slam the House's harmful sex trafficking proposal. Someone up here says McCain is dying from cancer. What if he doesn't have cancer, right? Could just be his prop to make us all feel bad for him. But anyway, this article says 6 senators slam House's harmful sex trafficking proposal. A bipartisan group of 6 U.S. senators slammed a proposal from the House Judiciary Committee to curb online sex trafficking. So there was a bill in the House Judiciary Committee to curb online sex trafficking. These 6 senators were anti this bill. Let's go down here. Who was one of these senators? John McCain. Wow, why is John McCain trying to stifle a bill to curb online sex trafficking. And funny enough, when you go to the McCain Institute, John McCain's Institute, one of their primary things they try to combat is human trafficking. Holy shit, though, if you just go to literally Google and type in John McCain and human trafficking, first thing that comes up is the McCain Institute. But then, a lot of great articles. America gets punked by Ashton Kutcher and the McCain Institute. A good article on Steam It. Disobedient Media here. They said McCain's Institute's failure to use donations for anti-trafficking. Same thing on Zero Hedge. Down here on Reddit, John McCain is heavily involved in human trafficking. So it's a total front. John McCain is using all this human trafficking nonsense as a complete smokescreen or a complete front to be involved in it. And we know, or we can imagine that he's involved in human trafficking, but also gun trafficking. Remember the pictures of John McCain with the heads of ISIS? So this dude really needs to get taken down. He's a sick, sick man, literally and figuratively. And man, fly Sid fly. So there's that. Back to these Q posts. There was a few more. That was my McCain tangent. So up here it says, being advised to update code, serious hardware being used to break. 4, I'm assuming meaning 4chan, is not secure. You can see then there's another post here updated with a brand new trip code, UW, and then he's actually replying to himself to confirm it, saying confirmed, confirming that new trip code. So basically wherever Q goes, whether it's 4chan, whether it's this board on 8chan or this board on 8chan, there's a lot of trolls that follow, but the analytics, right? The Google Analytics, obviously, or the AI Analytics follows him. So it's just, everybody's looking for these Q drops. It's such a hot topic that, of course, the trolls and there's going to be all kinds of hacking and counter-hacking done to prevent these things. So confirming the new trip code. Here's a Q post under this new UW trip code. We may have exhausted our ability to maintain safe communications. Tough to do on 4chan, tough to do on 8chan. Snow White, rigged for silent running. Another Snow White reference. Snow White, I have seen one person allude to Snow White possibly being CIA hacking measures or counter-hacking measures. So if Snow White does mean that, this is corresponding evidence to that being the case. Unknown returns, so we might not know when Q returns or where. So that's why it's important to be checking not only 4chan, but multiple boards on 8chan wherever he does post. So I think unknown return just means unknown wherever, unknown area he's going to return. Godspeed. Then it looks like down here there's just some command prompts. A sec fail, security fail, private op end. So private operations ending. Don't know, man. But lots of stuff going on just because stuff's getting so close to breaking that, of course, the trolls are going after Q. Looks like they're going after me, too, in these comments. And so there's that. Let's get into, then, the sexual harassment. Let's discuss that a little bit. So we'll first go to, the newest news on that, Dustin Hoffman. It changed everything. 5 Dustin Hoffman accusers tell harrowing stories of sexually predatory behavior. Not only that, Russell Simmons, kind of big surprise there, but NYPD opens investigation into Russell Simmons amid rape allegations. And if you literally just go into Google, you can type in sexual harassment and find an amazing amount of articles and news stories about all kinds of stuff regarding sexual harassment. Now, before I proceed into the rest of these articles, I want to go down to this 8chan post, of an anon, we don't know who, not Q, someone else, but they're basically connecting some of the breadcrumbs. And if you follow me on Twitter, I posted this on Twitter last night, so you've already seen it, but I'm going to discuss it here because I think it's so important, and I love this one. So this anon poster is going over some of the Q breadcrumbs, some of the questions posed. I think these questions were actually posed multiple times in the Q post, but right here. What is a map, right? when everybody's looking at these Q posts, they're assuming, oh, map, right? Google Maps or something on a wall you look at in an atlas. But in this case, this anonymous poster is saying the map equals minor attracted person. Why is a map useful? Let's look at this question with a new perspective on what map actually means. Why is a minor attracted person useful? They can be blackmailed to do whatever you want, right? I would say the majority of people in political and corporate, a lot of corporate office probably too, they're being blackmailed right now, right? Doing the deep state's bidding, but not necessarily wanting to. They get drugged or really drunk one night and go to bed with one person. They wake up, oh my God, what the hell happened? And they've got, a bunch of people, even maybe children around them that they didn't even go to bed with, but now there's videotape and photographic evidence of all this. They can be blackmailed to do whatever the intel agencies want them to do. MAP currently has 43 confirmed connections. Resignation announcements at time of this post. News unlocks MAP. Great response here. Public resignation announcements indicate they've accepted plea agreements and are cover for actual prosecutions for pedophilia or human trafficking or really deep shit. All these people just basically quitting over the sexual harassment stuff. They're taking plea agreements behind the scenes. Not everything can be stated one-to-one. Intentional cover stories to prevent screwing up the rest of the op. Multiple reasons here, not only to prevent screwing up the rest of the operation, to ease a lot of this stuff onto the mass public's consciousness so they can literally begin to believe it and not be either shocked or just plain not believe it when the full brunt of the storm hits, right? So not everything can be stated one-to-one. Great response as to why there. And then re-review the map post-relevant news drops. And this Anon's response to that was, keep looking at the newly downed perps to analyze connections in order to figure out the power hierarchy. And then he just says, has this already been established or do I get a cookie? Get this man a cookie. In fact, get him two. Because, man, that's some good deduction right there. So let's go into, or I should say, look at all these sexual harassment allegations with that in mind, right? A lot of these people quitting, a lot of these people resigning and leaving office, right? We have Paul Ryan now. I mean, he's not quitting over harassment allegations, but he's quitting. Plenty of others quitting over harassment allegations. They're all, I would imagine that it's more likely the case that they are taking plea agreements behind the scenes. So I wanted to throw those breadcrumbs out there. I want to now move to this Newsweek article that came out a couple days ago. It says, world's first travel ban on pedophiles takes effect with arrest in Australia. So in Australia, there was actually a travel ban on convicted pedophiles who weren't done with their, stopped convicted pedophiles. So when they're not done with all their court stuff, they can't travel. But why is this on Newsweek, do you ask? And why is the Pope, right? One of the foremost human traffickers on the planet, likely, right there. Why is he on the front page of this? Why does this whole article not mention a single word about the elite trafficking or the elite being pedophiles? It's all no-name people. Yeah, just, there's almost 800 registered child sex offenders traveling overseas in 2016, this Newsweek article says. But of course, that's not counting any politicians traveling overseas, right? And my answer to those questions I just posed is because Newsweek running this article, total smokescreen, right? Total smokescreen. They're trying to, make it look like corporate media and the Pope and all the elite, they don't do any of this stuff. It's just all low-level people, right? And, of course, the church is trying to save face. They're trying to make themselves look like they're combating all of the allegations of pedophilia in the church and doing a damn good job doing it, right? So understand that, guys. With all of this storm coming to a front, with everything going on right now, there's going to be a lot of disinformation and misinformation slash half-truths coming out there. So especially when looking at the mainstream media and what they're reporting on sexual harassment and pedophilia. Remember? So this typing in sexual harassment into Google, like I showed you, The Atlantic. Washington Post, Rolling Stone, right? Why are all these mainstream media outlets, of course, Snopes, fucking Snopes, New York Times, why are all these mainstream media outlets suddenly reporting on all this sexual harassment? Well, they got to get their foot in the water to try to do some counterintelligence about all this, right? I mentioned this in my last news update 2 days ago about Chuck Schumer with that odd fake story that he's claiming, oh, fake harassment allegations against me, right? He could have easily just mailed that to himself. Cry wolf, cry, oh no, they're trying to pin me, but I'm innocent, right? Mind games. It's all mind games. So beware of that. This article came out on The Hill just this morning. Exclusive. Prominent lawyer sought donor cash for 2 Trump accusers. Big article, big drop here, discussing how people, some of these Trump accusers are basically paying money or trying to be paid off to come forward. And so this is blatant skullduggery going on to try to, I'm not sure that Trump is an angelic human being, right? But he's not deep state nasty, which is the point here, right? The biggest thing to take away, Trump differs from the rest greatly. And of course, with all the outing of the deep state, like we've been talking about, they're going to try to accuse him. They're going to try to make it look like he's a sexual harasser that needs to resign as well, right? I was just in the store yesterday looking at the front page of the USA Today. They had a big old article on all the latest in sexual harassment allegations, and they had Matt Lauer up there and Al Franken's face, and then they had Donald Trump right in the middle. Like complete misinformation from the USA Today. But so this is a good article coming out from The Hill exposing how these accusers are paid off to accuse him. And speaking of Donald Trump, I want to show you his Twitter. His Twitter right here is pretty interesting because not only is he honoring and thanking the Secret Service in a tweet from about 5 hours ago, but he is also thanking the FBI. He was actually the first president in 46 years to attend the FBI Academy's graduation, and he gave a speech there. So really, really funny, right? Concerning all of the outings of the FBI all over the place the past week or two, more than even a week or two. But in light of all the FBI outings and what we're beginning to find out about the Secret Service, as per Q, connecting the Secret Service to being basically a CIA front, it's very intriguing that Donald Trump would take his last 2 tweets and thank them, right? Thank you, Secret Service. Thank you, FBI. He's, killing them with kindness here? So, very, very interesting coming out there. And now for the last few articles, let's talk about the good old space stuff that I like to throw in. Let's take bets on how quick a space doesn't exist comment we'll get into the get into the live stream there. But anyway, is Oumuamua an alien spacecraft? Initial scans show no signs of technology. So remember, they were I should say, the best conventional scientists that mainstream science has to offer in the SETI researchers and some Harvard physicists and even Stephen Hawking. They were all scanning this long cigar-shaped craft for alien life. But of course, they were using radio waves. And if you are familiarized with any kind of truths or deeper knowledge surrounding the ET phenomenon, they don't use radio waves. They don't communicate with radio waves. They communicate with, telepathy, and they use a completely new physics for their propulsion systems and for their energy creation and even for communication between beings and devices and whatnot, quantum communication systems. So this is just ridiculous. They're scanning it with radio waves for, electromagnetic waves, and I don't know. But anyway, looks like they're not pulling any kind of disclosure with this big cigar-shaped craft quite yet. But apparently, they did want to spread a little bit of super soft disclosure, I should say, into the mainstream media. Record breaker, 8th alien planet found around distant star. NASA was using that Kepler observatory and found another exoplanet, right? Oh, great, another exoplanet. But of course, looking at it from the perspective of the mainstream public, this is going to be big news to them, of course. So it's just prepping them. But shit, man, we got to get this ball rolling, right? So, again, if you're privy to much deeper knowledge on the extraterrestrial phenomenon, the secret space program, this is just like, come on, guys. We've had contact for decades, if not millennia, right? So it's pretty ridiculous. And then last little bit of soft disclosure. Again, Newsweek, man. Newsweek's been in the, I think Newsweek has turned into, of course, one of those deep state corporate media shillers. Newsweek, Washington Post is usually a standard one, CNN. But man, Newsweek, they love to be sprinkling these disclosures out of Newsweek over the past few weeks. Mixtape dropping soon. But they're saying, alien minerals discovered at ancient meteorite strike site in Scotland. Alien, that trigger word, right? Alien. I specifically like to say non-terrestrial because it doesn't have any trigger, any buzz associated with it, right? Any weird connotations of people's perspective. So I say non-terrestrials. But in the media, they like to say aliens. So people get triggered. Like, oh, they must be demons. They're aliens. They must be evil, here to suck our brains out or something. But anyway, when we looked at the rock, it was very, very strange. Alien mineral forms. Man, just more. It's like more contingency plans in place if they need to pull some half-assed disclosure, right? Weird. So anyway, that's what I wanted to leave you guys with today here on December 15th, right? Yeah, December 15th. So thank you guys for watching. And again, I'll be having to go down to Portland for the weekend. So if you get any live videos, it'll be from down there. But I will be working on some other videos and other projects. And again, if you guys want me to vlog it, I can try. I can start practicing that if you guys really care about what happens behind the scenes. Right? I don't know. It'd be fun. And you guys could hear some more of my really bad jokes because not all of them get to make it into these live streams. So have a great day, guys. Thank you for all your support. Take care.